much all the crossbows being sold out there now, for the most part, are coming with a multi-crosshair variable magnification scope. There's a lot of confusion, not only how to sight these in, but also exactly what they are. A lot of people are thinking that because it's a variable magnification, you can tune the magnification up and down, and just like a regular rifle scope, and it won't screw things up. Unfortunately, what you're doing is you're using the magnification to tune it to the speed of the bow. Once you get it set so you have equidistant crosshairs, you have to leave it alone. If you don't, all your points of impact are going to change. So there's two basic types with this. Types like this particular Hawk XB1SR, where the center line of the crosshair is dead on at 20 yards, and the rest of the crosshairs go down from there. Then you get things like the factory Raven scope or the Hawk XB30 series, where the center line of the scope, in this particular case with the Raven's 50 yards, with the Hawk it's at 40 yards, and when you're adjusting magnification, all the other lines go all wonky on you. So you have to know how to tune each of these and what each one does when you're changing magnification. So we're going to show you exactly how these work. Here we can see the targets at a distance and the 20-yard top crosshairs at the top of the target. The 30 and 40 are below it. The 30-yard crosshair is at the center of the target. The 40 is at the very, very bottom, and then 50 and 60 below that. As we start to increase the speed on the speed dial, we're also increasing the magnification. Because the center line of the scope is at 20 yards, as we're increasing the magnification, if you notice, the 20-yard crosshair does not move on the target. However, the 30, 40, and 50 down the line slowly creep up the target. What you're doing is you're increasing the item in your field of view, because we can't compress and extend the crosshairs. So optically, it brings the crosshairs together. So the faster the bow, the higher the magnification to get equidistant crosshairs. So in that video, you can see that as you're changing the magnification, your 20-yard crosshair stays still, all the rest move up and down. How do you sight that style scope in? Well, what you want to do is you want to take and put your 20-yard crosshair dead on the target at 20 yards using the windage and elevation turrets, just the windage and elevation turrets. You can set the speed dial to approximately what you think the bow is shooting, but right now that's not that critical. Just use your windage and elevation at 20 yards. Once you get that sighted in, go to 40 yards. And the easiest thing to do is put the 40-yard crosshair dead on the bullseye and take a shot. If it hits where it's supposed to, the speed dial is set for your bow. If it does not, put the bow back in a solid rest, put the 40-yard crosshair dead on the bullseye, and without moving the bow, turn the speed dial up or down until the 40-yard crosshair comes up or down and touches the arrow you just shot. Calibrates the whole system. Which way do you turn it? Well, in this case, say it hits high. That means the bow is shooting faster than what you have the speed dial set at. So what you'll want to do is increase the magnification, turning the speed dial up. If the arrow that you shot hit below 40 yards, then you want to turn it down because the bow is shooting slower than when you had the speed dial set. Once you get that set up, it calibrates all the rest of your crosshairs, you're ready to go. In this shot, we can see basically the same thing. The target is at distance. However, in this particular scope, the center line is 50 yards, not 20 yards. So you can see the 50-yard crosshairs at the top of the target, 60, 70 below it, 40 and 30 above it. As we increase the speed dial up in speed, what happens is the 50-yard crosshair does not move. The 60, 70, 80 and such will come up on the target, and the 30 and 40 will actually come down on the target. This one's a little trickier to sight in, because the center line of the scope is at 50 yards, not at 20. What you want to do, same deal, set your speed dial to approximate the speed of the bow and get it roughly sighted in with the windage and elevation turrets at 20 yards. Don't go crazy with it. Pull the bow back to 50 yards in this case, and spend all your time at 50 yards with the windage and elevation turrets, getting it so it's dead on at 50. Once you're dead on at 50 yards, come back to 20 yards. Put the 20-yard crosshair dead on the bullseye and take a shot. If it hits where it's supposed to, your speed dial is set. If it does not hit where it's supposed to, use your speed dial on the bow to calibrate up and down for your 20 yards so you're dead on. It's fairly simple. Don't go too crazy with it, but you want to spend all your time at 50, or in this case 50, 40 if you got a hawk, and then come back to 20, and that's where you're going to adjust your speed dial to get it dead on. And again, once you're dead on 20, you calibrate the whole system.